Hello everyone and welcome to Dignity Home Foundation, and this video we will discuss the Uttar Pradesh's two-child policy. The Uttar Pradesh government recently proposed a draft bill for two-child policy to check population growth and have a balanced growth between communities, failing to which people won't be able to participate in local polls, won't get government jobs and won't get government subsidy. Or in some cases, people suggest that they should have no voting rights. So in this video, we will try to understand if the two-child policy is good or bad, and also bust a myth regarding certain communities having a higher fertility rate than the other. And before I start this video, let me explain two concepts to you. First one is fertility rate. Fertility rate is the number of sons born per woman. Did I just say sons? Sorry. It is the number of children born per woman. Isn't that the same thing in India?
Are you having a boy or an abortion?
Second one, replacement level fertility, which means that the number of children born per woman, which exactly replaces the previous generation. The standard rate right now is 2.1, and below this rate, population starts declining. So let's start with the pros and cons of this two-child policy. First one, pros. The first one is more people means more unemployment because jobs are limited and the population is huge. So naturally, unemployment and poverty will rise. Second point, it's good for the environment. Less people means less depletion of resources and less pollution. And less people getting out of the house for tourism and spreading COVID. Please stay at home. Sorry, coming back. Let's come to the cons. First one is personal freedom. Who are you to decide that I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids? It's my choice.
It's her choice.
Second one. Okay, if you say no, population is exploding and you cannot decide how many children you can have. So we will decide because the population is exploding. That's also not true. If you take India, for example, we are already reaching our replacement level fertility. In 1960, India's fertility rate was approximately 6 and slowly declining. Now it has come to 2.2 in 2019. So the estimate is that by 2047, we will reach our peak and we might start reducing in population thereon. Now let's take Uttar Pradesh. Even in Uttar Pradesh, fertility rate is on a decline. In 1999, Uttar Pradesh's fertility rate was approximately 4. And in 17 years, in 2016, Uttar Pradesh's fertility rate is at 2.6. So you can see the amount of decline in Uttar Pradesh's fertility rate. Whereas in the same period, India's fertility rate declined by just 0.7. So Uttar Pradesh saw a bigger decline in fertility rate than the national average. So population growth isn't as big an issue as it was a few years before. In fact, some states like Kerala are already below replacement level fertility. In many countries nowadays, underpopulation is a big issue, like Australia, France, Germany, Italy, Iran, Japan, and even China. China had introduced the controversial one-child policy, which didn't work out. So in 2016, they put a two-child policy. That too didn't work out. So now they recently proposed a three-child policy. They are encouraging people to have more children. We need to understand that China's two-child policy was a massive failure. Countries like Sweden and Japan are paying you to have more children. So now I have booked my tickets to Japan on a mission to repopulate the earth. But why is underpopulation such a big issue? That brings us to the third point, economical aspect. Reducing population will increase the pressure on younger people to take care of the elderly after they are retired. Because the population of the elderly will be more compared to the younger ones. They will have to work harder and even earn more to provide for them. This will burden the younger population and will hamper the economic growth of a country. Japan has already started to see this issue, as you can see in the graph over here. The dependency of the elder generation is more on the younger generation in the recent years. Before it was very less. And last but not the least, in fact, a major issue is our patriarchal society. If the two-child policy is implemented, then this may lead to female feticide. See, I was right when I said that sons born per woman. If you restrict the number of children to be born, then people will prefer sons to be born. And obviously, this will lead to female feticide. This was an impact in China too. So when the restriction was there of only one child policy, that time many people preferred sons to be born. So it led to female feticide. And the sex ratio got so bad, every 120 males, there were only 100 females. And experts say that approximately 30 to 60 million females are missing from the Chinese population. So that bad it got. But what the people don't understand is that if females aren't born, then who will cook for you in the kitchen and wash your dishes? This, why don't they think about? Shame. This was a joke, eh? Now let's come to the myth of certain communities having more fertility rate than the other. According to government data, states define the fertility rate rather than the religion. And fertility rate is directly linked with the socioeconomic background of the person, the literacy rate, and also the healthcare infrastructure. And it is not linked with religion. States where literacy rate is high, the fertility rate is low for all religions. If you take Kerala for example, Hindus have 1.4% fertility rate, Muslims have 1.9 and Christians have 1.5. In Tamil Nadu, Hindus have 1.7, Muslims 1.7 and Christians 1.9. And where literacy rate is less, the fertility rate is more for all religions. If you take Uttar Pradesh, Hindus have a fertility rate of 2.7, Muslims of 3.1. In Bihar, Hindus 3.3, Muslims 4.1. In some states, the fertility rate of Muslims is less than that of Hindus. For example, Chhattisgarh. Hindus are at 2.2 and Muslims are at 2.1. And in Orissa, the fertility rate of Muslims is the lowest amongst the three sizable groups. People who are economically well off also prefer to have lesser children. If you see in terms of religious teachings, let's take Italy or Vatican City for example, the home for Pope. Even in that country, underpopulation is a big issue. Catholic Church, of which the Pope is the head, is against use of contraception. And still, the fertility rate there is low and underpopulation is a growing problem. This is because of education and literacy. In Hindus, there is a saying, Ashtaputra Saubhagyavati Bhava, which means that may you be blessed with 8 sons. मतलब इधर भी son, daughter तो चाहिए ही नहीं, सिर्फ only sons. And even 8, the number 8, which is way above the replacement level fertility. But do Hindus have 8 children? No. Because many of them are educated. And the same thing is with the Muslims. Their religious teachings tell them to have more kids. But do all Muslims have a lot of kids? No. So education, literacy and socio-economic factors play a major and direct role in the fertility rate. And it is not religion. So the solution is improving education. Basic. So in short, the two-child policy is going to be ineffective because it's trying to solve a problem which does not exist. And might even create bigger problems than the existing ones. And that's about it. Thank you everyone for watching the video. See you guys in the next one.